friends, welcome to this. I wouldn't call it a reading, it's more like a fun little storytelling experiment. And today we're going to find out if you were a character in Harry Potter, where would you fit in? What would your aesthetic be? Maybe even what house you'd belong to, maybe what legends you may have created. We're gonna get into all of that. And for all the groups, there's going to be a mystery Funko, so it's a lot of cute, fun stuff. I thought about this today while I was at work, and I thought it'd be really cute, since our last two readings were quite heavy. So let's get right into it. I have 4 piles for you to choose from. We have pile, oh my goodness, we have pile 1, so if you wanted to see your number, pile 1. We have the number, sorry, for pile 2. We have the number for our pile 3s. And we have the number for our pile 4. If you're ready, you can find your timestamp in the description below, and we will unravel your story. See you there. Hello, lovely pile 1s. If you chose number 1, this is going to be your reading, and I have already pre-shuffled some cards for you. But first, we're going to take a look at your Funko, so let's see who you got. Are you excited? I am. Well, I mean, I know what it's going to be, but I'm still excited. Sorry if you can hear my family, as usual. You got Snape, man. You got Professor Snape. Look at his wand. That's amazing. Wow, that didn't sound right, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, you got Snape. That's pretty cool. Let's put him right over here so you can see what we're finding out. So, firstly, this is giving me the vibe that you may have been some sort of professor with your number. I'm getting a bit of a herbology vibe because of the fact that there is some plant matter on this number. Can you see it? Is it shining too much? I'm sure you can see it a little bit. So I'm thinking maybe you might have been some kind of herbology teacher, sorry, if you were in the Harry Potter universe. So for your pre-shuffle, I've got 3 cards. Your Oracle card is going to tell me a bit about, it's just going to be giving me a little bit of vibe about your influence in terms of, what's your biggest influence in terms of the universe. And your Chakra Wisdom card is going to tell me what your personality is. And then this little card is going to give me a saucy little detail in terms of your values or some personality aspect. We'll see where it goes. This is an open reading. It's just fun. It's just to have a little bit of fun, you know. Our inner child sometimes needs this, and we all, for those of you who are as old as I am, we really vibed with Harry Potter. And I don't know if you guys have any embarrassing and cringy stories about your Harry Potter childhood, but I do. And we used to collect the chess sets and all that stuff. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. So let's take a look at the Oracle card first. You have Cherishing Self. I accept and love myself. So I feel like you are definitely the type of professor who stood your ground, and you've got a herbology vibe here, and you've got more roses, more lettuce. You were just a very, I'm saying were, but if we're talking about hypotheticals. I'm not going to keep clarifying that. We're all on the same page here. So I feel like you were definitely some very self-sufficient, very stable herbology teacher. And with the blue here, I'm thinking that maybe you were a Ravenclaw. So we're going to put that over there. If he wants to stay there, there we go. Then for your personality. So this aspect of your personality, or this is an advice card, so you just have to, twist it to have a personality aspect. So it says, instinct. I trust that my instincts are correct, and I let my natural intuitive feelings guide me forward. I will know what I need to do and how to respond with wisdom to situations that come my way. I have an innate desire to be of service in life. As I tap into this feeling, I will know what service I am called to do. I believe in myself. So as I said before, you're definitely very self-sufficient type of energy in terms of your influence around the campus and around the universe in general. Then we have the hall. So I have a feeling that you definitely spend time with the students. This is also giving me great hall vibes with the food and the tea. So I'm thinking you were definitely the type of professor who spent time with the student. You weren't a lone wolf, and that's ironic because you have Snape, but from Snape I simply got the professor vibe. I didn't get Slytherin, I didn't get any of those things, I just got professor from him. So you're definitely the type of professor that spent time with the children. You like being in the presence, you like being with them. And I think that as a herbology teacher, it must be you have a very nurturing type of instinct as a herbology teacher, and that's why I think instinct, there we go. That's why I think that you'd like to spend time with the children and with the students, and that would be something that you truly enjoy. It isn't something that's a chore for you. Sorry, my tablecloth is a bit wrinkly, but you'll have to excuse us because I don't care. So we're going to get some tarot cards to see what your story may have been. What may you have gotten into, and I see a bit of your story as this professor, this professor of herbology. Let's see, this Ravenclaw herbology professor. What did you get yourself into? So we have the Five of Swords in reverse. Then, oh, okay. Then hold him back. We have the Eight of Wands upright. Sorry, you can't see the cards very well. I'm so excited I can't even shuffle. And then we are gonna get. Well, you know what? Let's see where the story goes. Okay. So. Okay, Page of Wands, and then we're going to get one more for your base storyline and see where it extends from there. So your last one is the Emperor in reverse. Okay, so I'm definitely getting the vibe that you are mischievous, but in a fun-loving way. Maybe some professors, maybe you didn't actually like Snape because of his stoic demeanor, and you may have pulled pranks on him and stuff to the amusement of the students. I don't know if that's really in Ravenclaw's nature as much, but I do think that maybe that might have been something you did. I feel like you were always there to help, and you always communicated freely with all the other teachers. You communicated freely with the students. You were a very open personality, and they could come to you anytime for any type of advice. But with the Emperor in reverse, in association with the rest of your personality aspects, I do feel that maybe you didn't follow the rules of the school as much as in Hagrid, for example, letting students into his hut and stuff. Maybe you even, explored the Marauders map with students after dark and stuff like that. You have a bit of a mischievous nature towards you. It's all well intended. You definitely aren't giving me any type of malicious vibe. So let's get a little bit more information here about who you were and about what your role was. I'm just talking in the past tense, but Yes, I know. Okay, we have got the Seven of Cups, and this makes me think that you were friends with a lot of students in different houses. It's not like you really set your mind on being friends with students from your own house. You were friends with students from all the houses, and I feel like you were definitely very well liked even among the different houses. I think they all really like you. Respect, I'm not sure about respect. So we have Temperance. This definitely gives me the idea that students were able to come to you with their problems, and I feel like they trusted you a lot in terms of your advice and what they know you have a genuine interest in them and their progression as students. So I got the Magician in reverse as well, and this tells me that you're still learning your craft. As a herbology teacher, maybe herbology was really your only strong craft, but you were very good at it. But you weren't as good with defense against the dark arts. You maybe weren't as good with potions. I feel like you just had this one extremely good talent, because we're seeing nature here again. So you definitely are good with the herbology, but I don't feel like you branched out into more aspects of magic casting or any type of divination. So let's see here. We're gonna get two more of these cards. This is a pretty, you know what, we'll just see where we're gonna go. Maybe we'll even get some more oracle cards. This is forming a fun little story for you, you know? So let's get 2 of these cards to add a little more perspective. Let's see. Let's see here. Did they have a defining moment? Did this herbology teacher from Ravenclaw have a defining moment? And if so, what was it? What was your defining moment? What was your defining moment? So we have mustard, and then we have, let's see, one regard for some advice on this professor's defining moment. A moment where maybe respect was gained throughout the entirety of Hogwarts for you. Maybe even in the magical realm, you know? Let's see. Let's see here. What was your defining moment? What led to your defining moment? We're gonna need one more card. Sorry for my family. I don't know if you can actually hear them. I have a noise reduction sponge thing on my mic. Okay, but let's not get out of this. Okay, so we have one more card and it says knife. So despite your sweet nature, I feel like you may have taken it too far with your mischievous actions in terms of someone in Hufflepuff. Maybe this was someone who deserved it. I don't think you'll do anything malicious. So maybe this is someone who deserved it. I'm gonna get one more oracle card, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see. So someone deserved justice, and you brought it. And it may not have been malicious. Maybe it was mischievous, really. And this person may have been very sour about it because they were embarrassed by the social implications throughout the whole school. Because you're so well known, people will talk about what it is that, you know, one of their favorite teachers did. So we've got this, embracing the future. I step into the future with an open heart. So despite the fact that you did cause a bit of a ruckus, you're definitely going to be staying at Hogwarts until you're old. You're going to be an old ass teacher, and you are going to stay there until the next and the next and the next generation's there, you know? And you're definitely going to stay in the same type of personality with the same type of love and respect for the students, the same type of, you know, cherishing nature. And I feel like all the students who visit Hogwarts will always appreciate this about you. You're definitely one cool-ass teacher, man. Okay. That was very interesting. I'm excited. I think that I definitely like to meet you in this. You know what? I feel like I want to get one more of these small cards because I have a feeling it might tell me, I don't know why, but I have a feeling it might tell me who you hang out with in terms of the student body or other characters specifically that we know and love. So let's see. Let's see, who did you hang out with? Who did this Ravenclaw, excuse me, who did this Ravenclaw herbology professor hang out with? Professors have social lives as well. So we're gonna get a little card to see who you hung out with. Who was your go-to friend if you had a tough day in class and Draco was not participating, or if you had a nice meal in the Great Hall and you just wanted to go chill with someone. Who was your companion in terms of friendship at Hogwarts? Let's see here. We need one card. Okay, we have one. We've got the candlestick, and this, without a doubt, just the authentic light of character makes me think of McGonagall. You are definitely friends with McGonagall, and I can just imagine the two of you chatting away and her in her little cat form sniffing around your plants, and you are just vibing together, drinking your lemonade or your white wine, having the greatest time, just eating your chocolates and vibing, man. You and McGonagall just vibing. And I definitely think that you might, I'm getting an older vibe from this character, so I think that maybe McGonagall's age at the point where your legend was created, because it's one thing for someone to be a mischievous young or middle-aged person. It's a whole different thing if old people are mischievous. It's hilarious. So I definitely feel like that's the type of person that you were. This was very interesting, and I'm getting a very, very optimistic, happy vibe from this character. And I'm so glad you joined me for this reading. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Leave a comment leave a comment in the comments below if you like this, and if you are a Ravenclaw, and if you like Professor Snape, something that you may have resonated with. If you had fun and liked this, maybe I'll do something with other fandoms as well, because this was very interesting, and I feel like it definitely, it takes a load off in terms of the heavier readings one usually does. So absolutely beautiful. I'm so excited for you guys. You're an amazing character. See you next time. Bye bye. Hello lovelies, if you chose group 2, we are going to see who you would have been in the Harry Potter universe. So we're going to take a look at your number first. Feel like you may have been a feminine, a witch perhaps. But let's see what Funko you got. I mean, I know, but you don't. So let's see who you got. Oh boy. I was actually genuinely surprised the time that went by until I started the reading again. Was not a long time, but I genuinely forgot what you got. Okay, so you got a little Dementor. So I'm thinking that maybe you had a dark past. You had a dark past, and maybe that's actually what led you to going to Hogwarts. So let's find out. Let's find out more about. This is actually such beautiful craftsmanship, despite the scary nature of this character. Look at that. Looks like a demigorgon. Anyway, okay, so we have a little Dementor here. He's gonna look out over your reading and see what we discover about your personality. So we have 3 cards pre-shuffled here for you. This one's gonna give me a little bit of an idea of your aesthetic as a character. This is going to give me a bit of a personality aspect, and this one is going to just give me almost like, not a defining moment per se, but let's just see what info we get from it. Let's see where it goes. I'm going to keep this completely open and free and see where the story leads us, because that's the most exciting way for storytelling, in my opinion. Let's just see where they lead us. I'll be just as surprised as you are. So let's look at your overall aesthetic. Trusting your intuition. My life is truly guided. So this makes me think that you may have had a mentor, and you may have trusted this mentor, and your absolute trust in this mentor may have led to making some decisions that didn't really serve you in terms of your character development. So we've got that. Getting a mixture of really all the houses here except Gryffindor, so I couldn't really tell where you would be associated with. So let's see what your personality card says. It says, radiate warmth and sincerity. I'm open to sharing, accepting, communicating, and connecting with others as I focus on this moment, not the past or future. A smile, a kind-hearted way of speaking, or a hug goes a long way towards uplifting others. I offer care and support where I can without rescuing. I nurture and respect my relationships. So this tells me that you are a very open person, and you are very open with this mentor and with people in general. And this leads me to believe that something truly horrifying must have happened for you to have this dark influence in your life. So I'm very interested to see what it was that turned the tables so extremely for you. Okay, then this card we have Spa. So I'm thinking that maybe you may have spent a lot of time off, which leads me to believe that you were not a full-time teacher. This leads me to believe that maybe you're more of a authority figure in, you know what, I think that maybe you may have been a higher grade student, and you are a higher grade student And that's why you had a mentor. That's why you had a mentor, and you trust your mentor implicitly. You had a lot of time off because you were intelligent and you didn't really need to spend that much time in your studies, but you were skipping classes because you spent time with your mentor, and other teachers didn't really mind because your mentor had a lot of influence and they didn't bother to reprimand you about it because you still did well in your classes. So let's see what your tarot says. Let's see what your tarot says about this. This is very interesting, actually. It's extremely interesting. Sorry. Extremely extremely interesting. Let's see what your tarot says. I'm interested to see why this dark influence entered your life. I mean, this sounds like a fairy tale story, right? So something must have gone wrong. But let's see where. Let's see what happened to you, sweetie. Let's see what happened to you. Where in this universe does Pile 2's story begin? Where does their story begin? Tell me a bit more about their character, their story, their development. Okay, we've got the King of Cups. All right. Okay, we're gonna get 3 more cards, and if it's necessary for me to extend your story, or if I feel like there's more details needed in terms of your story, we're gonna get some more. But for the baseline of your story, or your base arc, we're going to get 4 cards. So we need, we have got the 4 of Swords. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing give it a rest. Okay, then we have the Lovers in reverse. Okay, then we need 1 more card in terms of your story. Then we need 1 more card in terms of your story. Got the Emperor in reverse for a second time. Okay, so definitely getting the vibe that your emotions overwhelmed you. And I'm hearing with this card, give it a rest. So I'm feeling that maybe you fell in love with your mentor. With this Lovers in reverse and the Emperor, some type of view. Oh, look at this. You got the 9 of Swords in reverse. You definitely fell in love with your mentor, and when their love wasn't requited because you simply couldn't be together, they had a whole career at the school. I mean, where could magic folks go, you know, if they're truly into teaching and truly into mentoring other than Hogwarts, you know? So they definitely knew that this connection couldn't work. And they may have told you to give it a rest because your emotions started overwhelming you. Your emotions were just, you were too sure of your emotions in terms of the connection. It's almost like you thought it might be. It's almost like you mistaked kindness for affection. I'm getting that vibe. And this affection wasn't returned. Maybe it was returned, but you knew this connection couldn't work. And this was obviously something that you couldn't handle because it meant so much to you. And this is probably where this energy comes from. This despair, this darkness grew and grew and grew till it manifested into an actual entity. This despair was very deep for this lost love. I'm not getting any vibes about what your house may have been, but maybe in the next cards we're gonna get a little more, excuse me, of an idea. So let's get more tarot, you know. You got this. No, the tarot says what the tarot definitely, that story was pretty, it ended pretty obviously. So I see the groups are going to be very different because the story leads me to certain places, and I feel like I'm going to get another oracle card for you. Okay, I feel like when this despair hit you, what did they do? What did you do when this despair truly pierced your heart and you realized that this wasn't a possibility? What did this despair do when it hit your heart and you realized you will never be able to be together? What did this do? What did you do? What happened? what followed this despair, this definite no? You've got emerging into grace, and I feel with this card, you almost had a despair of not wanting to leave because you still had your own personal goals, but you just started vibing with the despair because you didn't bother to get rid of it. You didn't consider that that's even a possibility because it was so big. You let it overwhelm you and you just lived with it. It was part of your personality. It became part of your being. And that's why it manifested so darkly, because you accepted this despair as a part of the self. Let's see here. I have one more oracle card for you. One more oracle card for you. Was there some kind of progression in this despair? Was there a progression, or was group 2 simply lost to the world in terms of their emotions? You've got proceeding softly. My inner power grows in moments of quietude. So I definitely feel after this despair hit you, you became a recluse, and you may have spent a lot of time in the Forbidden Forest, and a lot of that negative energy may have fed your despair, which may have been the reason that something this dark was manifested in the first place. But I do feel like with proceeding softly, there was a little bit of a break in this despair. Almost not an acceptance per se. This would be something that would haunt you for the rest of your wizarding life. But I don't feel like they're saying despair was your only legacy. I think they're saying that the way you lived with despair was your legacy. I feel like people knew this. This wasn't a secret. Your admiration towards this mentor wasn't a secret, and people knew because the two of you were still there, but you may have cut contact and you may have appeared in your classes again, and people knew that because they saw the extreme coldness between you and your mentor, that something did happen. And I feel like they were sympathetic towards that, but they admire that despite this despair, you were still able to function as a student. You were able to still function as a student, and even after a little moment of being a recluse, you came back into the classroom. I'm imagining a wizard walking back into the classroom and there's students turning around and being like, wow, you're brave, man. And nobody ever says anything about it, but everyone knows what happens, and everyone knows how brave you must have been to come back after that heartache and after knowing that everyone knows, you know? Oh, sweet shame. Let's see here. Let's get 2 of these cards to see how your story may have progressed further in your continuation of being a wizard at Hogwarts. I am not getting a specific house energy though. Not getting any specific house energy here. Let's see, maybe these will enlighten us a bit in terms of your house energy. I'm gonna get 2 of these. We're gonna see what it says. What does it say about, you know, your... Oh, we got 2, so that's good. We've got the candlestick in reverse, which definitely indicates to me that this despair was everlasting. It may have gone brighter at some point, but this despair was something that you never let go. And here with dining room, you may have reintegrated yourself into the social scheme, and this was also a part. I see here the dining set here as well, so you may have made, you know what, I feel like you made your first appearance. And despite having seen you walk into the classroom, I feel like you may have made your first interactive social experience of social appearance in the Great Hall, and I want to know what happened there, because I feel like this is gonna be the pinnacle of your reading. Let's see what happened in the Great Hall when you finally made your appearance and you started talking to your friends again. We've got, oh my goodness, you guys, this is, I can't. Letting go, I surrender joyously to the ebbing and flowing of life. Hufflepuff energy, absolutely, with these fishes. So, it was a release. It was almost like a balance of release and acceptance. With these two fishes, I'm thinking of balance. And it was almost a balance of acceptance of the grief and release of the grief. It's like knowing you can't have something, but it forever leaving a scar on your heart. You know what? I kind of want to see if you were better for this. If you were better for this. I feel like we're going to get one more of these small cards. Were you better for this? Were you, were you better for this? Was your character development influenced positively? Yes, your candlestick is now reversed. Clarity. Clarity for future endeavors, future relationships. I feel like after this you might have been more picky about your relationships. You might have even started dating another student, but I do feel like people would be very brave to date you because they know that no one can ever fill that gaping hole in your heart. So I'm definitely seeing that you shed light on this. I'm another card to see. I feel like someone did love you very deeply, and you respected them for this, knowing that they know your past. Let's see here. We're gonna get one more piece of information for your character, because I think that you definitely had a very interesting story. Very, very interesting story. Let's see how we need we're gonna need one more little piece of information for your character arc. Let's see here. We have, but here we have your last card, and this is the Hall in reverse. So, goodness, this is, oh my heart. I feel like despite the fact that you may have had some type of acceptance about this despair, I feel like some nights you roam the halls thinking of your lost love, knowing he's living and breathing, but you just can't be with him. What a very interesting character story, but very sad. But one must realize some of the most beautiful characters are the most unhappy, you know? This is a very deep story. It was very beautiful. It was the character definitely had an arc. Lovely. Okay, so that ended a bit darkly, but it was very interesting. So take that part of it. I'm very excited for you guys. I'm excited that you had such an interesting story. Thank you very much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye. Hello, if you chose group 3, this is going to be your reading. So I'm going to just put your little number over there. So we have 3 pre-shuffled cards here for your character's basis, the basis of what makes your character. So we are going to, I'm going to flip your cards before I get your Funko. Making a difference. My inner light shines far and wide. I'm not really getting a specific house from this, but I do feel like you had far-ranging influence in the community of Hogwarts. Even in the realm of magic. So let's see here. It says unconditional love. I allow myself to be open to giving and receiving love without fear of rejection. I give without expecting recognition or acknowledgement in return. When I'm loving to others, I'm helping bring out the innate love within them so they also feel uplifted, worthy, and cared for. I love myself the way I am, not the way I was or could be, and I extend this love to others. I teach others how to love and respect me by how I love and respect myself. Does Hogwarts have counselors? Because I feel like you would be a magic counselor. I mean, they still have social lives, you know. So we have spa. Okay, I'm definitely getting the feeling that you were some kind of counselor who people came to when they had some kind of problems in terms of their social life, because at the end of the day they may be witches and wizards, but they still have feelings and emotions, and I feel like you may have been some kind of counselor in Hogwarts. So let's look at your Funko. You got nearly headless Nick, but as you can see, Nick is completely headless, and this makes me feel as if you may have been, your kindness may have been taken advantage of. I'm getting the feeling that maybe your kindness led to your demise, which is why his head is completely removed. I didn't know that when I opened the box. So maybe your kindness led to your demise. You may still be roaming around Hogwarts giving people advice, still giving counsel, despite the fact that you're no longer living. But someone definitely had it in for you, and your kindness was your demise. So let's put poor Nick there. So we're gonna get some tarot cards to see what your arc is. What was it that led to your demise? The demise of this very good, very influential person. You were definitely a wizard that gave counsel, but I don't think you specialized in any type of magical abilities. Maybe divination. I think you may have specialized in divination because that might help your counsel. But I always feel like you respected people's boundaries when it came to getting messages about their lives. You know, you always wanted confirmation from a student, or maybe even teachers came to you because your advice was so far-reaching and so uplifting, and you were very confidential about the people you saw. You never shared this with anyone. You are trustworthy, kind, uplifting. So what caused your demise? What caused your demise, man? Okay, let's see here. We've got the King of Cups that came out in the previous pile as well, despite the fact that I shuffled well. But I guess this is just very much talking about how, see the water here and the water there, you're definitely able to balance your emotions in terms of what you hear and in terms of the desperate situations other witches and wizards might be in, and the problems that they brought to you. You definitely didn't let them overwhelm you, though you had sympathy and empathy. You definitely didn't let their despair overwhelm you, otherwise that would influence your work, and I have a feeling you really loved your work. You loved your work with the heart chakra. You loved helping people. Okay, let's see here. We have the Page of Wands. This also came out in a different pile. Where did I? This. Very interesting. Very interesting. So we need 2 more cards for a basic arc, and if we need more cards, we will get them. Look, we're looking for 2 more cards for your the main arc of your storyline. So let's see here. What else? What else is your character persona? Okay, we got one more. We got the Star. I feel like you got a message, and you had a feeling someone had it out for you, but you trusted them. You still gave them the benefit of the doubt despite your intuition, and that may have been the cause of your demise. You gave them the benefit of the doubt because you're very sympathetic towards other witches and wizards, and that may have been the cause of your demise. That may have been someone you invited in. This, I feel like, because so many people loved you, your death almost started a revolution. People were shook by your death. Even though you were still present as a non-living being, this really limited your this really limited your reach. So we have the Hanged Man, and this really limited your reach, and people know you had such a positive influence on the community in terms of the magical community all around, that they were absolutely disgusted by the fact that anyone would treat you in this way because you've helped so many of them. So I feel like a part of you was still so kind-hearted that you didn't let on who it was. I feel like you just keep an eye on the other witches and wizards when they're out and about. And when you see this person, see, you're now a ghost, so you have very easy access in the entire realm of the castle. So you definitely can keep an eye on this person so that they don't do someone else dirty, you know? Then we have justice. So your defining moment may have been personal justice. And this personal justice here with the sun in reverse was definitely not the route that you wanted to go in, because you're a kind-hearted person, but you are so afraid of the people that you've learned to love and have counseled so long would fall under the same trap that you did. Their kindness might not have been taken advantage of, or may not be under threat of being taken advantage of, but I do feel like this person has other malicious qualities to them, and I feel like you may have taken justice in your own hands to your emotional detriment. So let's see here. So I'm not thinking that your death was your legend as a character. I'm thinking that the justice you served was your legend. Your legend started with your far-reaching qualities, but I feel like there's actually two arcs to this character. One was their development as a social influence in a magical realm, which is actually extremely interesting because we often think the magical beings are above emotional dispute and emotional vulnerability, but the fact is they also need a shoulder to cry on, and that's definitely something that is a very interesting aspect of your character's arc. And then your unfortunate demise was also a part of your arc, but how did this caused you to develop into something that you didn't, this caused you to do something you didn't wish to do, but your fear was so great for the ones around you that you care about, that you, a part of you couldn't, your broken heart couldn't deal with the fear and the stress of not being able to protect everyone against this sinister force. Let's see here. I mean, I don't think it's another student, and if so, they had a lot of power, because your fear is very great. Your fear is very great, and you have this fear. You can't take care of everyone. You can't protect everyone against this person. So this person must have had some kind of powerful quality about them. May have been a student with powerful qualities, but let's see here. We're gonna get another oracle card to go a bit deeper into your story. Let's see here. Let's see here. One more oracle card to get deeper into your character story. So we have exceeding expectations. I soar into excellence. So I feel like maybe people weren't judgmental of the justice that you took on this person. When they found out that in fact you did take justice and you did, you know, have a vigilante moment, that they don't judge you for this, and the larger community, because of they know your nature, they know that you're this person that has good intentions and always been supporting everyone. I feel like they almost gave you the pass for this one bad thing, you know. So let's see, we have Peacock in reverse. I'm feeling that with this is definitely, despite the fact that you were accepted even after people found out about this justice that you committed, that you still felt guilty about this. I mean, you aren't this type of person, and even though you were forced desperately into this vigilante scenario. It's not who you wanted to be, and it's not who you want to present yourself as, despite the good reputation you have. It's just not who you want to be. And here we have white. So I feel like there may have been some type of development where you did in fact make a little bit of peace with what you did, because you are a undead, or ghosts are undead, right? So I feel like they definitely let's see, how did you overcome this despair of vigilante justice? How did you overcome this despair of vigilante justice? Maybe, let's see, who was the person? Who was the person? Can you tell me who the person was, and how they took advantage of your kindness? How did they take advantage of your kindness? Getting a lot of Gryffindor energy. Getting a little Hufflepuff as well here with the sun, but I was also another sun, so Hufflepuff is also the clarity. I'm getting very, like, justice is giving me Gryffindor vibes very, very strongly. So I'm not sure, but let's see here. Who was the person? Who was the person? Who was the person? Who was the person that, you know, was the catalyst for this entire thing? Who was the person that was the catalyst for this character's entire story? Okay, we have the King of Pentacles. I feel like this was someone very well rooted in the magic industry. It wasn't some student or some outside influence. It was definitely someone well rooted and well respected in the community, which makes it even more interesting that despite the fact that you did, I don't think you killed them. I don't think you killed them. I think that they were expelled from the magical world. They were suspended from the magical world indefinitely because of what they did. You somehow managed to have them suspended from the magical world. I don't think you killed them. You definitely didn't kill them. So let's see, how can such a, what did this, let's see here. This is a very well-established person. So how did you manage to get them, you know, booted from the magical world? How did you manage to get them booted despite their influence? See, with the foot on the armadillo here, I might have think that this is a hint towards this person's cruel nature, but you almost can't see it, you know? So we have the Six of Swords in reverse. So you definitely had them exiled. You did not murder them. This confirms that you had them exiled. And they may have had one or two loyal followers that ended up going with them, but in the grand scheme of things, everyone could see that what they did was not justifiable. And the justice truly came from a place of logic. So let's see, what did they do? What did they do to you? I want to know what they did to this character. How did they take advantage of your kindness? What caused all this? You guys, I just saw the High Priestess. Maybe they used some kind of magic to extract the confidential information from your mind and use it against others. Maybe you obviously were kind enough to invite them in despite the gut feeling that you had about them, and they extracted the confidential information from your mind about others, and that is why you felt so betrayed, because it's an extremely invasive and far-reaching crime. And then we have the Five of Swords, definitely a conflict energy. This person, you put up a fight before you died. You put up a fight, and it was unfortunate because I feel like you were alone. That's why this scenario took so long to see the light of day. People just one day woke up and you were a ghost, and they were like, "What happened?" And they were truly shocked, because one day they were still receiving counsel from you, and the next you were just a ghost, man. So I feel like they would have fought with you if they had known, but at this point you were still in such despair and horror and shock maybe that you had fear as well, because you know this person did manage to extract the information. It was just, you know what, that explains why they were exiled, because they had to be exiled in terms of this information, because this could have very far-reaching consequences. I feel like maybe the justice wasn't just the exile. The justice was maybe you had their mind erased. You had their mind erased. You had their memories erased to a certain extent. I feel like you rebooted them back to default. Maybe they don't even remember any of their magical abilities, so they can never return to the magical world. Very interesting. You definitely put up a fight before you passed away, and this is your other card. I feel like someone gave you the choice to live again. I feel like you were given the choice to live again because of your positive influence on the entirety of the magical realm. You had such a far-reaching positive influence, and you took so much pressure off people that you had the choice to live again, and I think that you decided not to take it. You didn't take the offer of life. Why didn't they take the offer of life? Let's see here. We're gonna see why you didn't take the offer of life. Why didn't this character choose to live again in the face of being a ghost, a spirit? Why did they choose not to live again? This is a very strange choice, but I feel like with this character it's going to come from a place of wisdom. Let's see here. Why did you choose not to live again? Each pile is more interesting than the next, I'm telling you. Why did you choose not to live again? We have the hallway in reverse. I can't keep an eye on you all at the same time. So I feel like because you have a more range as a spirit and you're still able to perform the counseling work that you were able to do in your human or, you know, your witch wizard form. I didn't really get a masculine or feminine with this pile. So in your witch or wizard form, I do feel like you have more range as a spirit, and this gives you the opportunity to help people better. Yes. With the rope, I definitely feel like this. You wanted to remain untethered by the fleshy demands of a human body. You wanted to devote all your time and love to redeeming yourself from really, you know, ruining someone's life to a certain extent. Despite the fact that they had bad intentions, you still clearly felt bad about it. So I feel like this is almost a penance for you to stay a spirit, but it also has an advantage. I told you this was going to come from a place of wisdom. We're going to need one more little piece of information. I feel like your story was absolutely went full circle to a certain extent, and it was very, very interesting to observe that happening. We're going to get one more card for you, and we're going to see how we are going to end your fairy tale, end your reading. I feel like this has almost a very balanced, happy and sad ending. Okay. I'm gonna get one more thing, and then we have the dining room in reverse. So this makes me think of you don't really spend a lot of time with the other ghosts, despite the fact that you are the type of person that likes to support others and likes to counsel others. I feel like they are too much of a visual reminder of the despair that you still feel for this person's whole life being turned upside down, despite them not knowing it. So it's again a bit of a martyr energy. So you definitely were a bit of a martyr. But there's also the happiness of being able to help people indefinitely for the rest of your wizarding career as a wizard ghost, I suppose. Like, definitely still not getting any type of house vibe. So I think you may have not actually been a part of any house. You were just almost like an open for all counselor. You weren't associated with any house specifically because you helped everyone. Very, very interesting. Thank you so much for listening to this fairy tale of who you would be if you were in Hogwarts. This was very, very exciting, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for being here. Bye bye. Hello, Balfour. I'm so excited for your reading. The other 3 have been absolutely incredibly detailed and very, very interesting. I mean, I'm still vibing. Okay, so we have your little 4 here. This is a bit of a Hufflepuff. Ravenclaw vibe, but we're gonna see what the rest of the vibes are, and we're gonna see, maybe that's just a little tinkle of Hufflepuff vibes. So we have 3 cards for you here that are pre-shuffled. With the others, I removed your Funko after the cards were flipped, but I feel like I want to remove your Funko beforehand with this pile. So these cards are just gonna be the basic elements of your character, you know, the baseline of your character's aura or essence, as you might want to say. So let's see who you got. I mean, I know, but you don't. Oh, you got Lord Voldemort. Yes, you did. You shall not be named. That's who you got. So we're gonna put Lord Voldemort right over here so he can keep a look on what it is that happened to your character. So let's get your first card. Giving birth. I'm bringing forth new and dynamic energy into the world. So I feel like you started with good intentions. You started with good intentions. You were a force to be reckoned with, but you had good intentions with the peaceful elements of this card. You had good intentions and you were forced to be reckoned with. Let's see. Maybe this is going to tell us more about the area that you might have, you know, focused on, your expertise and stuff. We have the throat chakra, communication. I communicate openly and honestly to express my thoughts and feelings clearly. I share my inner knowledge freely with integrity and without fear. My aim is to be fully understood by others. I'm open to giving and receiving praise, and I will be careful not to talk excessively and make it all about me. I create space in my conversations with others to communicate with me. I inquire about others' thoughts and feelings, and as listening to their truth can be uplifting. So I feel like at some point, despite your dynamic energy, you might have liked to share your thoughts, getting more Ravenclaw energy with this blue. I feel like you might have liked to share your thoughts, but people didn't often listen. People didn't often listen, and why? We have Plum. This frustrated you because you liked communicating with people, you liked sharing your ideas, but it was almost as if people didn't take you seriously for some reason. Let's see here. Okay, so this is starting off with a strong story. You have a lot to say, but people aren't taking you seriously. Let's see here, we're gonna get your tarot. Why didn't the Realm of Magic take Group 4 seriously? Why didn't they take Group 4 seriously? I feel like you might have held a bit of a higher position, and that's why it frustrated you even more not to be taken seriously. You might have been a new addition to the staff at Hogwarts, and it might be that because you're new, people didn't take you as seriously for some reason. Let's see here. Why didn't people... Oh, that's way too many. This one wanted to come out for your community. So I'm thinking that... Sorry, I'm just picking up all the cards that fell. So I'm thinking that with the Four of Wands, you always try to create a sense of friendship with people. You always try to fit in, but for some reason you just didn't. People didn't listen to you, and You just didn't fit in. You always wanted a sense of community, but you just didn't fit in. And let's see why. Let's see why you didn't fit in. Why didn't group 4 fit in, man? Why didn't they fit in? Why didn't they fit in? Excuse me. Okay, let's see here. We have the Magician in reverse. The Magician in reverse. Why didn't group 4 fit in? Why didn't people listen to them? Why didn't people take them seriously? Oh. Why didn't people take group 4 seriously? Why didn't people take group 4 seriously, man? I'm sure they had a lot to say, so why didn't the Wizarding World take them seriously? Okay, we have the Page of Swords. Hi guys, sorry, I had to charge my battery, my camera's battery. So we're gonna get right back into it. So we're asking for one more card as to why you weren't taken seriously in the Wizarding World. Why was it that despite your dynamic energy, you weren't taken seriously by the larger community in the Wizarding World? Let's see here. As we said before, you may have been a new member of the staff. Let's see here. Why didn't the Wizarding World take Pile 4 seriously? You're afraid of confrontation. I feel like maybe you... conflict may have come up and you didn't have the capabilities to handle conflict very well, and because of your dynamic energy and your, magical origins, people couldn't understand why it is that conflict was such a difficult thing for you to address. I feel like you were almost... you didn't have the capability to handle conflict. Maybe this is because we have the throat chakra with communication, and despite your open communication with others, when conflict presented itself, you often avoided it because it's something that you truly couldn't handle very well. And in such a vast space with so many people and such intricate types of comings and goings, conflict will present itself often. And I feel like maybe you even avoided staff meetings and stuff because you couldn't handle the negative aspects that needed to be addressed. And maybe that's why the other staff members didn't really listen to you, because they couldn't comprehend how something so crucial could be missing from your essence. But that's just the person that you are, and I think that they found that difficult to really comprehend. So let's see here. I feel like they almost thought that you lacked some kind of fundamental capability. You know who I'm seeing? I can't remember her name. The divination teacher that does the tea readings. I'm telling you, I think this card came out in every pile. You may have been asked more than once to balance your emotions. Maybe you got too swept up in the social aspects, but you didn't engage at all. Maybe you were there for all the parties, you were there for all the good times, but you were never there when the going got tough, because it's just something that you physically couldn't handle. It put a lot of strain on you. So let's see here. Why did it put a lot of strain? What was the origin of this? So I feel like it was something that presented extremely fast in your life as a witch or wizard, and this what happened? Why did this character so desperately try to avoid conflict? We have the Knight of Wands. I feel like you were hiding a part of your true nature. You were hiding a part of your true nature, and that true nature may present itself. I feel like I'm getting Remus Lupin vibes. So you may have been some kind of hybrid, and this wasn't something that the rest of the staff were aware of, and conflict may trigger. Conflict may have been triggered, may trigger a transformation, as into a werewolf, for example, or maybe there was a dark energy residing in you, and you didn't want to trigger that in any way. So you are healing from something, but that thing is what you accepted. I feel like you accepted this job position because you are healing from what it is that caused this in your character. So you are accepted as a member of staff at Hogwarts, and this. What is this? What happened to you? What are you healing from that caused you to avoid conflict? What caused this dark nature in you that you're so afraid to trigger in your working life at Hogwarts? Let's see here. Oh, that's very much. That's a lot. Okay, we only need one for the time being, or any amount that could tell us what triggered this in your character for you to, what is this, what triggered this darkness that you're trying so hard to hide from the rest of the staff at Hogwarts? What triggered this? I feel like maybe I had to give birth to an entirely new character to fit in there, and part of that is avoiding conflict, so this isn't triggered, but what is it? Let's see, what is it? What is it? What is it that you're so afraid of tapping into your dark nature to? You have a dark past, a past of deception. I'm telling you, your cards are active. You have a dark... Ooh, I'm so sorry. Okay. You have a dark nature about you, and this was caused by mischievous behavior, deception. Maybe you weren't a very nice person in the past, man. And you're trying to change that by giving birth to this new persona and working at Hogwarts, trying to be your best self, but knowing that that is still so prominent in you that you can't afford to have it triggered by, any type of darkness. So if any type of dark entity presents itself, or any threat towards the students at Hogwarts, you would often just disappear and retreat into yourself. I feel like this is something your character may have struggled with for a very long time, and is obviously continually struggling with, because even with this Three of Swords, as the swords fall out when the heart is upside down, there's still a lot of scar tissue, So this is definitely something that you're trying to change, but almost like it's a part of your character. Let's see here. Very, very interesting. Let's get some more about your story. So, you might have had a mischievous nature. What was the reason that Balfour had a mischievous nature? What was their environment before they came to Hogwarts? Again, trickery. You might have taken a lot of pride in winning over others, and you may have thought that being put in a supporting role as a teacher, you could overcome this by the extremely different direction it would take you in. You know what you are. You're not unaware of your scenario, obviously, but that does not ease your fear. What was it that caused this? You were definitely into a lot of trickery and deception. Maybe you were associated with, I'm getting Slytherin energy. So you were definitely associated with the more, the less wholesome parts of the magic world before you went to Hogwarts, and maybe that reputation even followed you. That's why the other staff members may be mistrusting of you. And I think we need to look into why was it that you were hired at Hogwarts. Despite this, there must be something you have that nobody else has. And they know that, that's why they hired you, but that does not force them to respect you or what you've been through. Let's see here. What is it that you have that caused them to want to hire you at Hogwarts despite having this knowledge of your checkered past? Why did they hire character number 4? Why did they hire character number 4 at Hogwarts? Why did they hire you? What do you have that the other staff members don't? What did they need from you in the realm of the school? You definitely have a persistence about you, and we saw that with that dynamic energy. So there are still respectable parts of your character's nature, but your checkered past is what calls you into question with the other staff members. Let's see. What else does Pal 4 have going for them in terms of why they were hired at Hogwarts? I feel like this offer was made before and you weren't ready for it. You were offered this position a few times and you weren't ready for it. What changed your mind? Maybe a part of you wanted to stay in that lifestyle because you were so used to it. But what changed your mind? What made you come to Hogwarts? What made you decide to pursue the life of a witch or wizard in the staff spectrum of Hogwarts? What made you change your mind? Oh boy. Again, so many. But this will not discourage us. We will get 2 more cards for a while. What made you change your mind? What made you accept the offer? What made you accept the offer to come to Hogwarts? Despite the fact that it wasn't your first choice. What convinced you to come to Hogwarts? What convinced you to come to Hogwarts? What convinced you to become a teacher at Hogwarts? Oof. The people whom you shared your checkered past with may have left you out in the cold. They could see that you were considering a different path, and that was almost a form of... They almost viewed you as a traitor because of the fact that they could see you were considering a different life. And that's how your new life at Hogwarts started. Because you were exiled, you were only left with this option to come to Hogwarts. You weren't able to engage in this past anymore because these people that you shared this checkered past with simply couldn't relate to you anymore because they saw almost that there was good in you. And this was not something that they wanted in their community. Maybe they were a community of marauders or thieves, or they just thrive on dark energy, and there was a speck of light in you and they didn't like that. We have hearing messages from Spirit, so I have a feeling your character may have been called to Hogwarts by someone other than just the Ministry of Magic. I feel like someone else was communicating with your character. Maybe this is gonna... Who communicate? Maybe you have an ally in Hogwarts, despite the fact that your story is riddled with so much doubt. Maybe you do have an ally. Who communicated with character number 4 that convinced them to go to Hogwarts? Who communicated with them that started this, the catalyst for this? change in their lifestyle. Launching your journey. I'm an intrepid traveler sailing forth into the universe. So this person whom you had an intuitive connection with, or whom could telepathically communicate with you from Hogwarts and in your best interest, clearly, because of the fact that you were in such a negative place, they definitely were the cause for... Okay, so this person definitely spoke to your heart. This person definitely had a deep connection to the reason why you decided to go to Hogwarts. And I feel like we didn't get a lot of clarification in terms of what your abilities were. So let's see here. What were the abilities that this person saw in character number 4 that caused them to reach out and eventually, you know, set the ball in motion? We have Spa. We're gonna get 2 more. This person may have been wanting to give you a break from the lifestyle you're leading. We have White in reverse. This person definitely wanted to get you away from this dark lifestyle. This person definitely saw your potential, and we have Mustard in reverse. This person saw your potential. This person doesn't have a... We have Knife in reverse. This may have been a staff member from Hufflepuff. A staff member from Hufflepuff. That's why their big heart caused them to reach out to you, because they could see that potential in you, and maybe they didn't want you to get hurt anymore. They saw more in you, and they saw your potential. They didn't want you to get hurt anymore. Let's see here. One more card. Oh, the dining room in reverse. So you're definitely not engaging in social activities in Hogwarts, but I feel like we need to get one more oracle card, because this is telling me your story. And it is a very interesting story, there's no doubt about it. But this doesn't tell me about the impression you ended up leaving on people. I mean, this was obviously a healing journey. You came from a bad place. So what impression did pile 4 end up leaving on Hogwarts? See, again, we have embarking on an adventure. I savor the wonders of the world. Yeah. You were meant to travel to Hogwarts. You were destined to go there. And this person knew it. Maybe they are clairvoyant in the Hogwarts universe. Okay, let's see here. You were definitely destined to go there. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But what is the legacy that this character created? What is the legacy that this character ended up creating with this struggle and this healing? Okay, we have one card. It says, savoring pleasure. I fully embrace bliss in my life. So I feel like after you went to Hogwarts, there was a sense of release. You did start relaxing into it, and you may have started communicating more freely after discovering that you had an ally. Maybe you didn't meet this ally at first. Maybe they were a very elusive person, and at the end of the day you got together and you guys looked at each other and you're like, whoa dude, you kind of saved my life. And they were like, oh, I know, that's alright, don't worry about it, but I got you back. That feels like it was kind of the energy, like you almost had a camaraderie. You had a, you know, one trusted person among all the others that didn't really give you the time of day. And I feel like it was a very, very strong friendship that led you away from the darkness, you know? Okay. That led you away from the darkness. So, okay. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. So you definitely were slow to progress into your comfort zone at Hogwarts, even though it eventually did happen. So let's see, how did it happen that you eventually integrated yourself into Hogwarts? And did people open up to you? Did they end up opening up to you, man? Did they end up opening up to you? Did they end up accepting you? Okay. There's definitely an air of acceptance, and this person may have influenced it. They may have an influence over the other staff members, and they maybe kept telling them, you know, give this person a break. We all know their history. Do you not think that this is difficult enough for them already? You know, you definitely had a very, very strong friendship with someone. And then we have temperance. You were definitely patient, and you know you're always going to have this dark side of you, but you're trying to balance it now. You're not hiding away anymore from the conflict. This person is right next to you saying, I got you. You're right next to me. Don't avoid the conflict. Come to the staff meetings. If something negative happens, you will be okay. I will be there, you know? It's this beautiful friendship energy, and it's absolutely quite lovely. So you definitely had a very, very good friend in Hogwarts. And this person was the catalyst for your entire journey, and your entire healing process is actually extremely interesting. And then we have death. Absolutely beautiful way to end your reading. Through all this influence that this friend had on your character, and through all the struggles you went through in your checkered past in terms of the darkness in you, in the magical world, they managed to be the catalyst for not only a new life, but a new way of being, a transformative influence. So let's ask one more question. After character number 4 transformed, due to this friendship interest, due to this friendship, what became of them? After this massive transformation, what became of them? What became of pile number 4? What became of them? What became of them? What became of them? After this, that was so hostile. What became of them? After this transformation, what happened to them? You are not ready. I mean, I'm telling you. Healing the past. I step into my future with strength and clarity, and I feel like that's where the respect ended up coming from in terms of the other staff members at Hogwarts, because they could see how hard you were trying. And despite their initial hostility towards you, they could actively see the change you went through to get to this transformative point. And that is where their respect was gained for you, despite the checkered past that you had lived. Absolutely amazing. So, that was your character story. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so grateful. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, and your story was extremely interesting. If you enjoyed this, I may be able to do stories like this from other fandoms. It's just a little fun thing to take the load off sometimes of the heaviness of the other readings. And I'm very grateful that you joined me here. Thank you so much. See you next time.